Before the gleaming towers and bustling ports we know today, there was another Singapore. A land cloaked in emerald jungles, its shores kissed by the turquoise waters of the strait. This is the story of a lost world, an ancient civilization that laid the very foundations of modern Singapore. Join us as we journey back in time to uncover the secrets of a forgotten kingdom. Our story begins over 1,000 years ago, with the arrival of the first seafaring people. These were the Austronesians, master navigators who charted their course by the stars. Riding the monsoons in their sturdy outrigger canoes, they found a haven in this lush tropical island. They built their homes on stilts, rising above the tidal flats, and established vibrant fishing villages along the coast. The rivers teemed with life, and the sea offered boundless bounty. A new chapter in the island's history had begun. By the 13th century, this small island was known across the seas as Tamasek, the sea town. Its strategic location at the crossroads of major maritime routes transformed it into a thriving emporium. Imagine a port bustling with life, a kaleidoscope of cultures and commerce. Junks from imperial China arrived laden with exquisite silks and ceramics. Dhows from India and the Arabian Peninsula brought fragrant spices and precious metals. Prahus from the surrounding Malay archipelago carried exotic goods from distant islands. The markets of Temasek were a sensory explosion. Merchants haggled in a dozen different languages, their stalls overflowing with treasures. The air was thick with the scent of cloves and cinnamon, the glint of gold ornaments, and the vibrant colors of hand-woven textiles. Here, goods, ideas, and cultures intertwined, creating a cosmopolitan society that was far ahead of its time. Tamasek was not just a stopover. It was a destination, a melting pot where the world came to trade. At the heart of this kingdom, atop a sacred hill we now call Fort Canning, stood the seat of power. This was the forbidden hill of the ancient kings. Archaeological discoveries here have unearthed glimpses into this royal past. Intricate gold armlets, delicate glass beads, and fragments of high-fired Chinese porcelain. These artifacts whisper tales of a wealthy and sophisticated society, one with deep spiritual beliefs. Shrines and temples dotted the landscape, places where people sought blessings for safe voyages and prosperous trade. It was during this golden age that a legend was born. The story of Sang Nila Utama, a prince from Palembang, who, while hunting on a nearby island, spotted a shore of pristine white sand. He set sail for it, but a fierce storm threatened to swallow his ship. To appease the sea gods, he cast his crown into the waves, and the storm miraculously subsided. Upon landing, he encountered a magnificent creature, with a fiery red body, a black head, and a white breast. It was majestic and powerful. His chief advisor identified it as a lion. Believing this to be a powerful omen, the prince decided to found a new city on this very spot. He named it Singapura, the Lion City. While lions have never roamed these lands, the myth of the Singapura captured the spirit of the new kingdom, one of courage, strength, and noble destiny. This foundational myth became woven into the island's identity, a symbol of its bold aspirations. Life in ancient Singapura was a delicate dance between land and sea. Farmers cultivated rice in fertile clearings, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the seasons. Fishermen cast their nets into the rich coastal waters, their livelihoods dependent on the whims of the tide. Craftsmen honed their skills, creating tools, pottery, and boats, essential for daily life. And at the center of it all was trade, the lifeblood of the city, connecting its people to a network that spanned half the world. From stone carvings that hint at forgotten rituals, to shards of pottery that tell of everyday meals, every artifact is a piece of a grand puzzle. These remnants connect us to the people who lived, loved, and labored here centuries ago. By piecing together these fragments of archaeology, culture, and myth, we can begin to see the true face of ancient Singapura, a city that was resilient, innovative, and deeply connected to the world around it. It was a kingdom built on maritime prowess and cultural exchange. As the centuries turned, Singapore's fortunes ebbed and flowed, facing rival powers and the shifting tides of history. But the legacy of this ancient port kingdom endured. The spirit of enterprise, the embrace of multiculturalism, and the strategic vision that defined Temasek and early Singapura were not lost to time. They were seeds planted in fertile ground, waiting to blossom once more. Look around modern Singapore today. The same strategic waterways that welcomed ancient traders now guide the world's largest container ships. The vibrant exchange of goods and ideas that filled the markets of Temasek now thrives in a global financial hub. The spirit of the Lion City, born from a legendary encounter, now symbolizes a nation known for its strength and resilience. The ancient past is not a separate story. It is the opening chapter of Singapore's incredible journey. From a small fishing village to a legendary kingdom, and finally to a modern metropolis, the echoes of ancient Singapura resonate in the heart of the Lion City today. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through time. If you were captivated by the story of ancient Singapore, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to our journey through time. We now venture into the 14th century, a period when Singapore, then known as Temasek, emerged from the mists of history to become a glittering jewel of the maritime world. Picture this: the tranquil shores of the Singapore River, no longer just a quiet fishing village, but a bustling, thriving port. Wooden ships with sails catching the monsoon winds glide into the harbour. Their origins are as diverse as their cargo: majestic junks from Ming China, sturdy dhows from the Arabian Peninsula, and vessels from the Indian subcontinent. The air is thick with the scent of spices, sandalwood, and the sea. On the docks, a vibrant tapestry of humanity unfolds. Chinese traders, with their fine silks and exquisite porcelain, barter with Indian merchants offering colorful textiles and aromatic spices. Arab sailors exchange glass beads and perfumes. Local Malays, the masters of these seas, trade precious jungle resources like hornbill casks and rare woods. This isn't just commerce, it's a symphony of cultures, a global crossroads centuries before the term was even coined. At the heart of this thriving enterprise were the local chieftains, the Orang Laut, or sea people, who were the true custodians of these waters. They weren't just passive observers, they were the architects of this prosperity. Imagine the royal court of Tamasek, a place of diplomacy and power. Animated recreations based on historical accounts show us local leaders, adorned in rich fabrics and gold, receiving foreign envoys. These weren't simple handshakes. They were complex negotiations, forging alliances that secured safe passage for traders and protected the lucrative sea lanes from pirates. Warriors, skilled in combat both on land and at sea, stood as vigilant guardians of this fragile peace, their loyalty pledged to the ruler who guaranteed the port's stability. The cultural landscape of Temasek was as rich as its trade. The influence of the powerful Srivijayan and Majapahit empires brought with it a deep-rooted Hindu-Buddhist tradition. Imagine the soft glow of oil lamps illuminating intricate temple rituals, the air filled with the sound of chants and the fragrance of incense. Statues of deities, with serene expressions and symbolic gestures, watched over the city. The people's daily lives, their art, and their beliefs were woven with these spiritual threads, evident in the traditional attire and the reverence for sacred sites like Fort Canning Hill, once known as Bukit Larangan, or the Forbidden Hill. But this was a uniquely Malay civilization. Seafaring traditions and ancient folklore blended seamlessly with foreign influences. Legends whispered among the sailors spoke of Singapura, the Lion City, founded by a prince who saw a majestic beast upon landing. This wasn't just a simple story. It was a foundational myth, a declaration of strength and royalty, legitimizing the kingdom's place in a competitive world. The spirit of the sea wasn't just a livelihood, it was a part of their soul, shaping their worldview and their identity. To connect these stories to tangible reality, we turn to the earth itself. Archaeologists, digging carefully into the soil of modern Singapore, have unearthed a treasure trove of evidence. Here, we see fragments of exquisite Chinese porcelain from the Yuan and Ming dynasties, delicate glass beads from India, and even finely crafted gold ornaments, like the famous armlet found at Fort Canning. Each artifact is a silent witness, a piece of the puzzle that confirms the written accounts and oral traditions. These objects were not just decorations. They were the currency of a globalized world, physical proof of Temasek's connection to a vast, intercontinental network. They tell us a story of wealth, taste, and far-reaching influence. However, prosperity in the ancient world was often fleeting. The very success that made Temasek a prize also made it a target. The strategic location that brought wealth also invited envy and ambition. Dramatic sequences show the growing storm clouds on the horizon. The powerful Majapahit Empire to the south and the rising Ayutthaya Kingdom to the north both cast covetous eyes on this lucrative port. The narrative shifts to one of conflict. Alliances that were once strong begin to fray under pressure. Imagine the tension in the royal court as news of approaching warships arrives. Warriors prepare for battle, the clang of steel echoing along the coastline. We see animated recreations of naval skirmishes, sleek, fast-moving local vessels clashing with larger, heavily armed invading fleets. The shores that once welcomed traders now become a battlefield. Historical accounts, like the Malay Annals, speak of betrayal from within and overwhelming force from without, painting a grim picture of the city's final days. The once thriving port is engulfed in flames, its wealth plundered, its people scattered. The decline was swift. With the rise of the Malacca Sultanate in the 15th century, trade routes shifted. The monsoon winds that once brought fleets of traders to Temasek's shores now guided them elsewhere. The bustling port fell silent, the vibrant marketplace emptied, and the jungle slowly began to reclaim what was once a great city. The skies in our visuals darken, reflecting the end of an era. For nearly 400 years, Temasek would recede into the quiet footnotes of history, a sleeping lion waiting to be reawakened. But is a legacy ever truly lost? As we conclude our journey, a montage of modern Singapore appears. Look closely. The spirit of ancient Temasek lives on. It echoes in our status as a global maritime hub. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible exploration of Singapore's ancient past. If you enjoyed this journey, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.